This is Power Up with Pride 2020, benefiting the Trevor Project. We've got Need for Speed Carbon coming up next, so why don't we take that away?
Hell yeah. So, how's it going, everyone? I'm fGeorjje. This is Need for Speed Carbon. I am so humbled to show this to Power Up with Pride, and so humbled to just help out with just such a great cause here. So I'll be showing you this awesome racing game here for everyone. But first of all, obviously, we gotta set a file name, and of course, what better file name to pick than Pride 2020? Let's go. So I've already set up all my profile settings here and everything, but yeah, this is Need for Speed Carbon. It's the successor to Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. So anyone that's played racing games probably has heard of that Most Wanted 2005 DB hit, but we're not playing that today. But I do want to quickly shout out that yesterday some amazing Need for Speed history has happened. A 3-year-old streak of Cool HS holding the Need for Speed Most Wanted any percent glitches world record has ended, with Shuri taking the world record. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly just shout that out, that happened. Kuru has held that world record since June 1, 2017. It's been a long way, but Shuri, just yesterday it has happened. And just wanted to shout that out. But yeah, this is going to be a very hectic start. This game has like a super, it has like a 3-part prologue with things happening. There's lore I need to recap. So if there's any donations you have in the queue right now, then it'd be best if you read those off, if we read those off before the run starts.
I've got 2 quick donations. One from Joshi that says, let's make sure those scenes aren't cut for $100, and an anonymous $30 donations that just says, cute scenes. And with those, I'm assuming our upcoming donation incentive to watch the cutscenes of The Last Guardian has been met. So thank you for your generosity, and let's get started.
Absolutely, let's get this one started. So I'm assuming we're good on time here. If not, then Stream Tech, please scream at me. But yeah, we're gonna start the run here. So again, this will be a very hectic intro. I have to like summarize like what happened in Most Wanted. There's like stuff that's been going on. So this is gonna be like 5 minutes of a little bit of, I guess, rep god, but get on with it. I've done many marathon runs for this before, so you know, practice makes perfect. So there is a little load list time on the bottom right. I will explain that over the course of the run. In the bottom left, there's an input display in case you want to follow along with my inputs. But yeah, let's get the show started in 3, 2, 1, go. We're off with Need for Speed Carbon. So this game pretty much starts right after, well, actually not right. It starts after Need for Speed Most Wanted. We became the Most Wanted there. And after a long while, we come back to street racing. We're just kind of like, hey, you know, let's come back to the city. Let's come back to Holman City. We became the Most Wanted in Rockport City. And we have to drive through Canyon. And on that way, the former chief of the police force, Frosty, you know, the driver of the Corvette behind us, you can see in the rear mirror, he's now a bounty hunter. And, you know, he wants that sweet bounty we have. So we're down a quick chase in the canyon. This is literally just a quick drive to a scripted trigger at the end of it. So just some quick corners. Like driving's not so good right now, but yeah, I'm explaining things. So I believe this is going to be a 47 loadless plus, which not too good. It's actually going to be 48. Oh no, but that's completely fine. But yeah, that is the first thing of 3 that we're going to be doing in the prologue of this game. That's the cross chase, and now we're headed straight into tutorial. But first of all, oh, is the game way too loud? Oh, I did warn about this. Do you want to quickly restart? Because the game is like super loud. Or let me know when the game is quieter, then I can start like explaining more, I guess. I did say the game was going to be very loud when it starts, but...
No time for this.
Are we good now?
We're working on it.
He's good.
All right.
Just listen to him.
Just let me know if we're restarting or if we're just gonna keep going. But for now, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
All right. I will just wait for.
We should be a little quieter now. So.
Nice. All right. So what you just sorry. Yeah, I did say that the game was going to be a bit louder because I do need to listen to engine noises to up and down shift in this game. But yeah, what you just saw there was a quick chase down the canyon. Lore-wise, we just got caught by the former chief of police force from Most Wanted, and he wants that bounty we accumulated in Most Wanted, but that was just a scripted chase down a canyon. We got to pick our car class. We're sticking with Muscle for this run. Every car class actually gives you a completely different route for the game, and Muscle just happens to be faster. So we're picking the beautiful Camaro SS, and now we're in tutorial. In tutorial, Nikki, the driver of the Ford Red GT here, is going to explain. Oh no! Oh, this is bad. I might just soft lock the game. I might have actually just soft locked the game. That is so rare to happen too. That's a soft lock after restarting. That's never happened in a marathon before. Put that in, it has never happened before, Basket. That's awesome. So yeah, never got stuck there, and if that happens, I'm so sorry. It never gets stuck there. The driver of the... I actually don't know what car... I'm bad at car recognition, but the driver that's behind us right now. Then Nikki, this Ford Red GT there, is just going to speed ahead, and Neville's never going to catch up and use soft lock there, so that's why I immediately restarted the event. But what's supposed to happen there is that Nikki is supposed to show us how the cruise system in this game works, starting off with a block, but unfortunately, I went way too far forward and pushed Neville into that little part there. So I need to slow down this time around. That's what I was supposed to do. And then Nikki just speeds up and hits Neville once, and there you go. That's block complete. And that's completely fine. And then the second part of the tutorial is going to be drafting. So we're just going to stick behind Nikki here. We're just going to hopefully make her go over the jump really fast so that she slows down. We can just stick behind her and get what's known as an instant draft. We're going to be immediately in that blue sort of like drafting zone. And that saves time over having to, like, normally she speeds ahead and then you have to wait for her to slow down, but that way, by slowing down before the jump and she being too fast for the jump, she slows down. You can stick behind her and you can get an instant draft. And scouting is just follow any path that she drafts over in a shortcut. That's the purpose of scouts. Scouts are supposed to show you shortcuts, but because the map is static, we know where all the shortcuts are, so scouts are kind of useless in this game. But I'll explain more about what crew members we have available later, because we're done with the tutorial. The others is just waiting for the text boxes to disappear. Speaking of text boxes, by the way, these text boxes are way faster than you might expect. This is the final text box, by the way, so I'm just going to mash here. Because normally what's supposed to happen is there's supposed to be Nikki talking to you. These text boxes are supposed to be narrated by Nikki talking to you. Except we turn speech off. That has two purposes. Turning off speech massively reduces the amount of cop chases you get in this game. Which, if you've played Most Wanted, you might be like, don't you want cop chases? No, because cop chases in this game, aside from what you're about to see here, are not required. They just lose us time. And second of all, they make the text boxes faster in tutorial. For some reason, the game actually just, if you have speech off, the text boxes go at a fixed rate of something like 1 per 5 seconds. When you have speech on, the game actually waits until the speech runs out for that text box, so it's way faster. Say it's like 10 seconds in tutorial or something like that. But we lost like a lot of time to that restart there, but that's completely fine. But now we're heading into the most RNG part of the entire game. This is Escape. The game's gonna put us into a scripted police chase with 3 police behind our back. It's not gonna spawn anymore. This is 100% scripted. We cannot even if we try to, we couldn't force the game to spawn in more police here. So our goal is to get to a safe house while evading the police. And the fastest way to do this is to hope that we get a truck on the way, on this opposing lane here, and we can hit that truck to drop its cargo on the floor, and that will sort of like generate like an area of effect where cops will just instantly die. Unfortunately, it's looking like I'm not too lucky with the traffic patterns here, so I'm gonna actually have to start taking them out manually, which, there is a truck right there, but it's definitely too late. Actually, I guess they're all following me in here, so I guess I can just quickly, have 2 speed brake, take that log truck out, and all of them survive. That's beautiful. Okay, I somehow took out the cop through the, lane, very below me, but that can happen if you use a truck on the upper lane. The area of effects are, extends underneath. It's an interesting game. It's an EA Black Box game. What do you expect? But yeah, now we've entered cooldown. All we have to do, I'm gonna swap back into hood cam because that's the best cam for driving. Don't at me. There's some debate in the NFS community about what cam you should be using. If far cam is, a competitive choice. But I prefer hood cam. And now we're just gonna park our car over the safe house trigger, and that will, once the cooldown expires, immediately put us into the next stage and just immediately ends the entire escape sequence. And that is Escape. So Neville here, which we just got into police trouble here, is going to be our first crew member, and as part of being as part of organizing now our crew, we get to pick a crew name. And while it is technically not directly related to this event, but I believe it is very active. It's very important to just say this right here. Just want to quickly say that right now, that crew name is going to be displayed for the rest of the run. Black lives do matter, and if you've already donated your part to this event, then I want to say do support that as well. It is a issue that's very much also at our heart. But yeah, with that being said, we're done with Escape. We're done. Finally, we're gonna go into original racing. Neville looks like a Neville's fine. Neville's totally fine. But yeah, now we're done with that. We're finally gonna get into original racing. I finally get to explain how the cruise system works. Remember this screen right here? You see the like 4 areas of the game: top, left, right, and bottom. But also like sort of like the main areas, right? The top is Silverton. That's where we're going in late game, and then the 3 other areas is actually the sort of like areas you would start in depending on what car class you pick. We've picked the muscle route, so we're going to be starting right here in Tempton, which is the area of the muscle boss called NG. And the way this game works is that the 4 boss areas are divided into territories, and every territory is going to have 3 races, except 1 territory in every boss that's going to have 2 races. And in order to advance, we have to beat 2 races in every territory to unlock the boss for that. But it's not just that, it's not just mindlessly spamming races, because we also have to consider that every race is going to give us specific upgrades, unlocks. Some of them can be visual, and of course visual, we don't really care how our car looks, do we? So what we care about are performance part upgrades. So depending on what tracks unlock what, we have essentially made a route that brings us towards the game as fast as possible. So the route from this point on is, right now we're just getting money for the first tier 1 car that we're going to be buying. Right now we're just stuck with this car because we'll only start the game with 15,000 cash, so we have to just do a bunch of events. Traffic not looking so nice. I almost hit my truck in the back, but wouldn't have been optimal, as should have been obvious. But we're going to be finishing our first track here, which is Morgan Beach Off-Ramp. Just a quick checkpoint race. You actually get to listen to the EA Tracks music for once. Normally we would turn that off, and normally that means we don't have any music during checkpoint races. But luckily, the fine folks at PUWP with Pride have told me that they will deal with any content ID claims that happen, because if you play this game with EA Tracks on, you will get content ID'd on YouTube. Trust me, that will happen. But luckily the fine staff here has told me that is not a concern. So we get to play with licensed music. So when you beat your first track, you get this sort of like boss introduction scene. First you get met on the streets, and then you get this music video with like just the boss just being, I guess, cheesily introduced. It's like over the top of like cars and visual effects, and Angie's song is quite good though. I like rock. And then we do our second race. It's going to be Dover and Lapis, which actually is going to give us our first performance part upgrade, which is going to give us street NOS and tires for tier 1 cars. Except we're not going to do that. We're not going to upgrade our car, because first of all, we're currently saving up money for the next car that we're buying, and we want to get that car as fast as possible because it's way better than the car we're driving right now. So that is we're going to be buying the Mazda Speed 3. And if we upgrade anything, and I mean anything, we're going to be delaying that upgrade, and we do not want to delay that upgrade. So we're actually going to skip on that upgrade for now. And we're actually going to skip, and I should have, like, it would just be for now if we were using an old route. However, recently there is a new route found that actually skips the street NOS and tire completely and gets us straight to the next level of tires and NOS. And yes, this game has NOS, but we don't have it yet. You actually have to install it on your car, and you have to put it on. Like, you have to spend money on it, and we don't have that money, as I said yet. So this is Dover and Lapis. This is just another quick sprint event, except this time we actually get to race against AI, and because it's a sprint event, you get to hear the amazing composed music for this game, which is also absolutely amazing. I kind of missed my downshift there. I'm using manual transmission because manual in this game is way faster. The automatic gearbox in this game shifts really, really bad. I'm not driving too well, but you'd expect more from the world record holder for this game, because I am the world record holder. There's a really good corner where keeping 160 out of this corner is way harder than it looks. And thank you, Vanny Van, for the raid. Appreciate you supporting the marathon. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a 1:45, 1:46 in-game time jump here. This jump right there, that's where I normally time it on my in-game time. 1:46, that's like 1 or 2 seconds worse than my goal, so not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah, that's Dove and Lap is done, and we're going to be heading straight into our next track, which is going to be Waterfront Road. And actually, at this point, we get a choice of what track we do. Because you just saw there's way more tracks that just unlock. The more you progress in the game, the more tracks unlock for you to do. And we picked this track as our last track to do before buying the Master Speed 3, because this track is really, really, really straight. And because we're driving a muscle car that doesn't really handle too well, the Master Speed 3 handles way better. This car actually has better acceleration than the Master Speed 3 we're going to be buying. That's why we do this track. This is Waterfront Road. It is super straight. It is so straight that in terms of individual level runs, it is actually faster to do this car in a Dodge Viper, which doesn't handle at all, but has extreme acceleration, versus the normal individual level pick, the Mitsubishi Lancer. So that's why we're doing this. This is going to be the last track of this Camaro, that we're driving in this Camaro SS right here. And then we're going to be buying our first car, but that's what we're spending all the money right now. We currently have 25,000 cash, the Master Speed costs 30,000, and we just need to beat this one track to get ourselves 40,000 cash, and then we're spending all of that again to get the Master Speed 3. That's a good pun in the chat right now. It's a really good pun in the chat, not gonna lie. But yeah, if you have any questions about this game, you do tag me in the chat. I have the chat open. But yeah, with that being said, we're done with Waterfront Road, and we're going to be hopping straight into the call-out. You can see how much money we got here. We got a little bit more than 30,000 because Neville also gives us a little bit of a cash boost. And then we're hopping into a Foundry Road, which is going to give us the first performance part upgrade that we're actually going to install later on. This track unlocks the street suspension. Now, this car handles extremely well. I do have an input display for a reason. If I don't get blocked by AI here, I can actually show you. No, it looks like I got blocked there. Okay, so this car, this Master Speed here, Master Speed 3, handles really, really well. To the point where on slight corners, you actually don't even need to full steer the analog stick. Now, I have to do it for that car, but Kate's to do my analog stick right now. I do know I'm holding it not full. I'm holding it like 25-30%, and you can see it's pulling me around the corner, no problem. This car just handles so well, and we don't even have a suspension yet. Once we put on that street suspension that this track unlocks, we're gonna be zooming around corners at like 250, like 200 km/h, no problem. Like, it's awesome. This car handles so well, and that's why we pick it, because it keeps so much speed around corners. Now, I do actually intentionally downshift here because you can't keep your speed in 6th gear around this part of Foundry Road here, so I actually intentionally engine grind there at that point there. You might have been able to hear that from the game audio. Well, that's not for long. We're down a quick 180 here. It was a little bit, actually it was a decent corner. It was a little bit too fast, so I went on the sidewalk at the end there. And then we're about to finish off this track with the final straight. So after 4 races in any given boss track, you get a little bit of a reminder cutscene from the boss. It's just the boss being like, "Oh, hey, get out of here, get out of here. I don't want you here." But we're just gonna ignore it. We're gonna keep rolling on. So what's going to happen now is this is the route diversion. This is what I talked about with the new route that we found. Normally what we'd be doing is we'd be going all the way to the right, I guess to the east of the world, and doing a track called Mission Street. But we found out we can actually do a really long track in the stock Mazda 3, which is actually going to lose us time right now. So we're going to be doing a screwy way. Not to the call-up, please, thank you. We're going to be doing a screwy way in a stock Master Speed 3. This is a really long track, and normally you would say, don't you want to upgrade? But first of all, upgrading takes time. We have to jump to save us, etc., etc. But second of all, by saving our... by doing this track stock, we get to immediately upgrade after this race and get to have a street suspension, Chronos and Pro tires for 2 extra tracks. Normally we'd be doing Mission Street and Devil's Creek Pass Drift in stock Master Speed 3. And we found out that by doing a screwy first, we're essentially losing time right now, but we're gonna make all of that up plus an additional 5 seconds. That's how much this new route saves by doing this track stock. And that is the new route of early game in Need for Speed Carbon. And of course, 5 seconds in a racing game, believe it or not, is actually huge. Racing games are crazily optimized. it's really hard to appreciate how optimized every game is, because from a casual perspective, it just looks like you're going faster on corners. But once you get into racing game, you start to appreciate how hard it is to just hit every corner perfectly, like that right there. And I'll be explaining more about racing lines over the course of the run, but right now it's just me trying to explain the early game right now. We're gonna be finishing up Escurry. What we also found out recently is that one thing we thought would happen with always happen with cop chases is that cop chases were completely random. We recently, not 100% confirmed, but we're in the process of theorizing that cop chases are actually just way more common if you start a race from a safe house. And that has also led to some minor routing changes. So we're avoiding cops, and that is going to come in effect right after, because after 5 races you get your next crew member that you have the option of hiring. This crew member is going to be Sal, and we used to think we need to hire Sal because Sal supposedly reduces police RNG. But we found out if we just don't start races from safe house, we don't need Sal, and we can just skip hiring Sal, which actually saves a couple more seconds. I was not supposed to go on a Wardman there. I was supposed to upgrade my car, because now that we finished up Fondue Road, we can get ourselves a street suspension, but because we finished the Scurryway, we can get ourselves some Pro NOS and some Pro tires. And there you go. That's our first upgrade. So now we're going to be doing Mission Street and Scurryway. That's 2 tracks we now have a much better upgrade performance setup for. So these tracks will be just 5 seconds faster now. We essentially lost like 10 seconds actually more. No, we lost like 10 seconds on the Scurry, like roughly. It's 10 to 12 seconds roughly, depending on how well you drive on a Scurryway, but you're saving like 7 to 8 seconds on Mission Street and Devil's Creek Pass. So yeah, worth. But yeah, we're on a very long straight here on Mission Street, so that's why, having NOS and tires is super important here. I can actually, because NOS regens in this game, I can actually just get in another batch of NOS in, which is way faster. Normally we'd only have like 230 speed here, and now I'm just sitting here casually like 250. So yeah, that's why we do the new route. And it's pretty much going to continue this way for the rest of the game. Like, we're essentially on a hunt for new performance part unlocks, new cars, better cars, obviously, because this game has tier-locked cars. Unlike Most Wanted, you can't just stick with one car for the entire game. You have to upgrade at some point or another. There is no way around. Your tier 1 cars are going to have tier 1 performance. They're going to be better with performance part upgrades, but they're not going to reach tier 3 cars ever. So at some point, we will be upgrading to the Lotus Elise, which is our car of choice for the tier 2. And then later on, we're going to be upgrading to the Corvette. The Chevrolet Corvette C06 actually is the model in this game, and it's a beautiful car. And that is going to be our upgrade path for this game, but for now, we're just doing regular track racing. For now, because we're about to finish and we're going to go into our first drift. And drifts in this game, oh dear. Where do we even start? Drifts in this game, the way it works is you have way more sliding physics. You actually slide around corners, it's a drift event, it's different physics, etc. But the most important thing you have to keep in mind right now is that in drift, the game actually saves your speed the moment you start drifting. And that means that I can actually let go of my throttle so that I do the corner at a little bit slower speed, and then put my throttle back on, and it will just get me back to my safe speed, which means my goal here on this drift event is to just keep my safe speed and keep building up speed over the entire course of the track. So take close attention to my speed right now. I have 194. I'm actually going to leave my throttle off for a little bit here, and then look how my speed just shoots straight back up. That's how drift works in this game. So I was able to get a little bit more speed on that tiny straight part here. So now I have 220 km/h, which is pretty good. And that's why, you save a lot of time with the NOS and tires, because you just get the NOS on the starting straight. Looks like getting a little bit of understeer the car. So I had to overcorrect with brake and handbrake, which is obviously not fast, but hey, it'll do. That's better than hitting the wall, because if I hit the wall, then the game's actually gonna drop my saved speed and just put me back at whatever speed I hit the wall with, which is obviously bad. I'd be losing my... Oh no! Speak of the devil, jinx! There you go, 200 km/h instead of 230 now. And that's like roughly like I would say like a 3 to 4 second time loss from just hitting one tiny wall on the inside, from just gently tapping a wall. That's how optimized drifts are in this game, and that's actually a huge time loss. But if this was PB attempts, I mean, this would have been dead on the... this would have been, like, over on the tutorial soft lock. But, you know, this is a marathon run, so we keep going. And now we finish up that territory. We actually finally get our last upgrade, which is going to be this B Pro engine. We'll just do that quickly, because that Pro engine is really, really going to help us boost our acceleration so much. So now let's talk... actually, not yet, because I get to talk about drifting more. Let's talk... Knife's Edge. This is the next track what we're doing right now, and this track is this is another canyon drift, but it has way sharper corners. It has hard like S-bends and everything, and oh my god, I already completely messed up. Actually, it's gonna be faster for me to restart the event, believe it or not, because I just lost so much speed there that it would be faster for me to just do the entire event with more speed. That's how bad it is to crash on the first corner. But yeah, but this is Knife's Edge, and I just steered too late there. And another trick I'm going to be doing is trying to NOS when I'm landing from this tiny jump where unfortunately I didn't get any additional speed. When you NOS when you land from a jump in a drift event, sorry, there's a tiny chance that the game actually gives you a huge speed boost. I tried to get that there, but unfortunately I didn't. So now we're just kind of like stuck here with 220 km/h, which is fine, but you can already do this part here with like 250, 260 if you do it absolutely optimally. So you can see how much time could be potentially saved here. Like imagine like a 10% time save would be like 5 seconds on this track. But yeah, super long downhill part, and then we're going to the hardest part of this track. Unfortunately, I slid out there a little bit. This is not optimal. Oh wow, 250 km/h. That is slow, but that's gonna make the ending really safe, because that means I can just take this at relatively normal speed. Wow, I can't even do that. And well, it looks like I'm not, I'm not the best gameplay right now, but I hope my commentary is interesting. But yeah, with Knife's Edge done, we're now heading into the last 2 tracks of engine. We're going to be doing some more track racing, just regular, corner to corner, taking racing lines, all that stuff. I'll explain how racing lines work and why racing lines are... This game has grip-based physics of how exactly you want to approach corners. But for now, since we're back to regular track racing, I've been non-stop talking for like 23 minutes. I will quickly pass it back to the host if we have any donations. I've been literally just been non-stop talking for like the last 20 minutes. So if we have any donation, feel free to read them right now.
So, I have a $60 anonymous donation that says, just had to donate when I saw King's Quest 5 on the schedule. Good luck on the run!
Ready? We got time for more. We have more.
We don't... Other donations.
We don't have donations in the queue? What the hell? Go donate, everyone! What? Hello? For raising your money for an awesome cause?
Indeed. So let's talk about that cause real fast.
Yeah, you can have like 2 minutes to talk about Trevor Project if you want.
Yeah, so the Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time. Their 24/7 phone lifeline, chat, text, and soon-to-come integrations with social media platforms. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs.
So, if you're looking for a great cause to donate, that's absolutely the cause. And what we're standing on top right now, what we're standing with our donation total right now, I'm actually really curious.
Yeah, looks like we're just shy of $3,500.
Yo, let's get to that during this run. Let's go. But yeah, I do want to quickly point out that I'm actually running splits on my own end right now. And that Petersburg dam was a gold, so... I don't know how it didn't actually feel good, but there was a gold, so gold hype, I guess. But yeah, if that's it, if that's all you wanted to talk about Trevor Project, if that's all they do, then we are done here with Angie. Because this is all the territories done at this point. We've got 2 races in every territory, and at this point, we've got the boss race unlocked. So we can actually start that up right now. So we got a little bit of an introduction cutscene right here. and then we get into the boss race. So boss races in this game are two events. First of all, you start on a usually longer-ish circuit race with 2 laps. Also, actually, any circuit event in this game is 2 laps. Unlike most wanted, there's some 3 and 4 lap events in the career mode. Any circuit events in career mode are 2 laps. And then you head into like sort of like the entire like stick of this game, which is, I probably mispronounced. How do you pronounce? I think shtick. It's like shtick, something like that. Correct me in chat if I pronounce that wrong. Which is the canyon duels. And what they're supposed to be is sort of like a 2-stage process where, you know, in stage 1 you gain points depending on how close you are because the opponent starts in front of you. And then in stage 2 you start in front and then you lose points depending on how close the opponent is. With speedrunners, we don't do that here. You can actually just win straight in stage 1 by just overtaking your opponent, and that's what we do for literally every single canyon duel in this game because we can do it and it's way faster. Because not doing the stage 1 overtake per canyon duel loses like 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, 10 minutes time loss, no thank you. But yeah. So the reason why I'm saving up all my NOS here, I should talk a little bit about NOS users. So we have regioning NOS in this game, and the reason why you saw me save up all my NOS here, because I wanted to have a full NOS bar from this long straight here, because this is where I can use up all that extra speed I'm gaining. So that is NOS usage in this game, which has like a super it has like entire like subset of strategy there, how you want to use your NOS. Oh god, that's a good read there, that traffic curve. I also use some speaker. Yeah, the speaker I haven't really explained much, but basically what it does is it slows down the in-game time. So you really don't want to be using it unless you absolutely have to, because it also gives you some extra handling, which you can use to avoid traffic cars and all of that, if need be. So you don't want to be using it unless absolutely required. But yeah, I will not be NOSing here for a little while again, because I want all my NOS for that long straight again, remember. I'm actually going to be downshifting because I'm supposed to be in 50 here. And yeah, that is just, it's going to be the same lap again. It's because it's 2 lap. I believe this is actually our first circuit race now. Yeah, it is our first because we just do the short sprints here. So, short batch of NOS here, but I'm not going to be using all of it. Because as I said, I want most of the NOS for that really long straight here. I read that I was able to pass on the right by that traffic car there. That's another thing that a lot of people misunderstand about this game, is that a lot of people think that traffic is like just purely random. But okay, that is jinxed. That is just nothing I can do about that. So most of the time when people say traffic RNG, they're kind of like ignoring that traffic cars can be avoided. But that right there, me trying to enter the shortcut right there, that is just me jinxing myself, just being like, oh, why did I start talking about that? That is an unavoidable traffic crash, nothing I could do there. But yeah, when he says NOS here, it sounds like he's saying nausea. I'm German, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, I'm German, I mispronounce a lot of words. English is not my first language, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best, and that's what counts, right? So we're about to finish up the circuit here. We're gonna get a little bit of a canyon introduction cutscene, and I just want to say, since we didn't have donations in the queue right now, if we do get a donation, just feel free to just straight up interrupt me, because I will literally just be talking here non-stop for like hours. Like, I can do that. When you get challenged by a boss, but yeah, you played Most Wanted so much, what things makes you play it again? You absolutely should. This game is an amazing speed game. But yeah, this is the canyon tutorial cutscene where it's just you just have to sit there. If you watch this in quick race before you start the career, it actually won't play in career, but we count that as New Game Plus because they're doing stuff before the career mode. So that's a separate category. There's actually some really crazy stuff that happens in New Game Plus. There's a wrong warp glitch at the end of the run. So if we finish like really underestimate, and somehow enough underestimate that we'll be making up our schedule, then I guess I could show that, but that's completely up at the mercy of the marathon organizers and the schedule, of course, and my gameplay. But given that a soft launch in tutorial, I'm like a minute behind my PB. That's not looking so hot, but hey, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we're almost done with cutscenes. I promise. This is like a 3-part cutscene where you have the canyon tutorial, you have the canyon sort of like introduction, where it shows you the track, and then you have this. So one thing I want to call out is that you can get what we call an early overtake. where you can overtake Angie way earlier than we would normally do, or normal consistent setup, and that saves roughly like 10 seconds. So it's gonna happen after 3 corners. Here's corner number 1, that's just a slight left turn. Here's corner number 2, that's a slight right turn. And this corner, this left turn right here, is where we can overtake Angie, but she needs to mess up for that, and she didn't mess up enough. Actually, might get we're gonna get an early tunnel overtake instead, so that's still gonna save some time here. It's not as good because normally what you do is you overtake her right on this left. She always messes up on this left corner right here. She spins out there, and that's where you can overtake her. But because I started the 10-second countdown way earlier, that's what happened there. I was able to start that countdown, that 10-second opponent overtaking countdown right there, and that is Angie. And that was an early overtake, so now instead of being, a little bit further, saved some seconds there, saved, 6 seconds. Very cool. Wasn't the full early overtake, but the full early overtake saved something like 10 seconds or something. So, very nice, very nice. We get some reward markers here. These used to matter, but they don't anymore. This actually does matter, bro. We just got Angie's car, and that is actually detrimental to us. You'll be like, why would you not want Angie's car? It turns out that if you get her car, your crew member actually gets a tier 2 car as well. Which will make them faster and might make them like brake check you because crew members start to get in front of you and stuff, but that doesn't really matter too much anymore because, as I said, we are skipping Sal now at this point in the route. Well, by we I mean me because I care about the 5 seconds, but some people still like. Again, it's an EA game. We don't really know how the code internally works. Good like getting source code from Electronic Arts for 2006 game, so it's all just theorizing about like Sal and stuff, how Sal affects police RNG. But even if having Sal reduces police RNG, I'm at the point where the 5 seconds from not hiring Sal actually helps me a lot. So that's why we have Sal. So that's gonna make the entire getting brake checked by crew members much easier because Samsung doesn't really Samsung and Neville. We're meeting Samsung here because after you beat a boss, one of the old crew members always defects to you. But we're not even gonna hire Samsung with it. He doesn't provide any benefits for us, and hiring crew members does cost time. But yeah, Park Drive, this is the start pattern. I don't like that. Oh my god, I actually got through that. So Park Drive and that start pattern. This is a good time to talk about start patterns. In this game, you can either start in 4 lines of 2 AI cars or 2 lines of 4 AI cars. We just got the latter. And if you get one on Park Drive, what normally happens is the AI gets really confused, doesn't know what to drive, and sort of like swerves into you, blocks you everywhere at the start. But I was able to just full nose off the start, just YOLO my way through the first 2, like the AI cars in front of me, which let me, through that entire hassle. You might have been able to see it on the rear mirror. And now I'm just gonna take this very, this tiny shortcut here, which is a little, I used to not do that, but I do that now because it does save a little bit of time compared to taking the original track. But in the past, I've usually always hit the wall instead of the... Traffic can be... As I said, you can re-traffic. You can avoid a traffic crash. Obviously, it's still going to cost you time, but, that's better than, actually crashing into the traffic right there. That was an absolutely sweet corner. It was a perfect apex. Let's talk about racing lines. That's a perfect way to talk about racing lines, because when we finish this track, we're going to get our boss introduction anyway. So let's talk racing lines. So if you've ever seen Formula 1, or if you're a Formula 1 fan or anything, you will know. This will be old news to you, but everyone else, settle in. So what is a racing line? Essentially, corners, when you drive them, are just kind of like bits of circles. And in order to drive through that corner as fast as possible, you want your biggest corner radius as possible. Don't think of the corner, but rather think of the line you're taking through that corner. I wish I could have made props in time for me to display images on the screen, but unfortunately I didn't have time for that. But basically, the way you get your biggest corner radius is not by following the path of the corner itself, but rather you want to start on the outside of the corner and then steer in at the exact right moment so that you clip the innermost point of that corner. That's when I started saying, hey, that was a really good corner right there earlier. And then have just exactly the right speed that you exactly end up on the outside of the corner again. That is what is known as the perfect geometrical racing line. And that is what you want to be doing in the Master Speed 3 most of the time, because the Master Speed 3 really likes geometric racing lines. There are other types of racing lines that we're going to be doing later. So, foreshadowing, I'll be explaining that when we get to that point. But that is mostly what we're going to be doing here. So, But obviously we don't have to do that if we know we can just take the inside of the corner. So right there you just saw me take the inside of the corner because that is a really light corner. But right here you're gonna see a really sharp 90-degree bend. I'm gonna show you the tapping the outside to get some spin on the car. And that was a beautiful corner right there. Absolutely beautiful. Didn't hit the inside of the corner perfectly, but still. You know, got on the outside, got really far on the inside, and then hit the outside again with just exactly enough speed. Kept 185 through that corner. Very nice speed, and that is racing lines, and that is what's so hard to appreciate about grip-based racers. Because if you're just a casual observer, just hopping into it, there wasn't really anything I could do. But if I go on the left, I'm gonna hit that anyway. Feels bad. But if you're just a casual observer, just hopping into any, you know, racing game speedrun like this, not just Need for Speed, but anything that's grip-based, you're gonna be like, yeah, they're going fast, but like, how they're saving time, right? That's how you save time, by taking corners really fast. Appreciate every corner, pay close attention to the lines I'm doing, and suddenly there's a huge just element to the game where you just the gameplay itself is just nerve-wracking as like an observer of racing games, as I said lately, when you're into that sort of like racing game bubble, which is just awesome. But yeah, we're done with track racing for a little bit. We have 2 drifts coming up. Kimai Temple Lofty downhill. Normally, because we have a because like what I used to do, like when I started out running this game, I used to call for donations during this part. However, this is kind of serious time. These 2 drifts that we're hopping on right now, Kimai Temple Lofty Heights downhill, are super hard to optimize, and a single mistake tapping a wall here can lose you 10 seconds per track on Kimai Temple and up to 15 to 20 on Lofty Heights downhill. It is crazy how optimized this is. I'm gonna try and keep talking, but if I like stop talking for a little bit, then I do apologize, because this is really, this is actually dead serious time right here. So I've got 210 speed right now. I really hope I can get some extra speed on this right here. Straighten out the car and then full nose onto this straight. 240, not bad. Actually not full 240, that's 235, but still pretty good for Kimai Temple. I think my like best speed I've ever had on lap 2 was like 245, so not optimal, but it'll do. I'm extending my drift here with like smooth inputs on the left analog sticker. I almost hit the wall there, but saved it. It's also about throttle control. If you hold your throttle at like not 100%, you get, but like somewhere in the middle there, you actually get a huge like handling boost around that corner as well. And that's going to be used a lot on Lofty Heights downhill, because canyon drifts actually have a slightly different set of physics, which is more understeery. So that's why on Lofty Heights downhill it's really important to use that you know, throttle set, you know, make sure everything, your entire, like your left hand on the analog stick is coordinated, your right hand on the throttle is coordinated. Looks like I did not get extra speed here. You can actually get extra speed and already be at 190 km/h at this point right here. So unfortunately I didn't give it, but that's fine, because there's another part where I can get some speed here, and that is right here. Straighten out the car, go full NOS, and it looks like I have 195. Don't hit the one, no! That's gonna cost me like 15 seconds. That's not an over acceleration. That is literally going to cost me like 15 seconds for the rest of this track. Wow, jinxed. Because normally at this point I would have like 215 km/h if done optimally. I'm doing it at like 180 km/h now. So like every 10 seconds I'm playing right now, I'm losing a second, because I'm missing like 10% of my speed here. Speak of the devil. Well, happens. It's a marathon run. We get on with it. Mistakes happen. NPB was set the moment I soft locked in tutorial, so yeah. Alright, this is a really sharp corner. It's actually, if you don't know your drift physics really well, it's really easy to fall off on that right corner, because these yellow barriers right here are actually, you can break through them. If you fall off the canyon, the game just insta loses you and you have to redo the entire track. Not the entire career, just this track here, but yeah, don't do that. That's bad for speedruns. But yeah, with that being said, we're finally done past it too. Yeah, I did lose. In case you're curious, I did lose like 10 seconds to my gold there. So yeah, bad one mistake, 10 seconds of my gold. So now we have the Wolf cutscene, because we did our first trek in another boss area here. This is Wolf's area. I didn't call this out, but the tracks we did earlier was Kenji's area, the Tuna area. That's the area we would have started in if we picked Tuna car as our first car. And this area we'll be starting in if we picked Exotic route, which this is Fortuna. That's what the area is called. But anyway, we have a little bit of a cutscene here, and then just regular track racing. So I mean, I was told that we didn't have any donations right now, but just to confirm, is that still accurate? Oh! I don't know if subs and bits go to charity, but if they do,
all of our proceeds are going to charity, so thank you so much for the anonymous 10 tier 1 gift subs.
That's like $25 for the charity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go!
And speaking of incredible generosity, we got a $100 donation from Game Quoter. He didn't leave a comment, but that is incredibly generous. Thank you so much.
That is absolutely incredibly generous. Thank you so much.
And with that, we are at $3,526. So, why don't we say $375?
Let's go. Yeah, can we freeze? No, you know what? Let's go. Can we 4,000 at the end of this run?
4K.
4K. Let's go. 4K at the end of this run. 4K. That's the goal I'm setting for you all. Let's do it.
Come on, chat. I believe.
Can we get an impromptu incentive for this? Because I did talk about that potential glitch exhibition. That's up to marathon staff though. So if Tech wants to do something like that for like hitting 4K. Like I saw, like impromptu incentive, but it's up to their call. But I'd be down for doing that.
Yeah, I can go ask.
I'm totally fine if the schedule doesn't allow for that.
Yeah. We shall.
But yeah, thank you so much for, like, just as the run, I just want to thank everyone for helping support the cause. But yeah, sorry about saying like no in the middle of it, because I hit one of the AI cars in the back where it got slowed down a lot, so I was like kind of like raging at my own, like, because I could have avoided that. All right, $1 Million Drive. This track has like a, oh no, don't block me. Oh no, this is gonna be risky. All right, y'all want to see me get sideswiped? Here we go. This shortcut crosses the track, and I might get sideswiped by AI, but it looks like they slowed down there. Oh, this track right here. So you get started on a track that has like 10 meters of the start line, has a track crossing 2-part shortcut. So if the AI gets like some fast cars, because the AI carpool is picked at random, it is possible that the AI speeds ahead there, and you know, when you cross the track, you get sideswiped by them. So yeah, that can lose a lot of time. Luckily, it didn't happen there. I did get blocked at the start there by them. But luckily I didn't get sideswiped. Luckily they must have like slowed down a little bit more or something. But yeah, $1 Million Drive, a little bit of RNG at the start there. Speaking of RNG, so far this one has actually been super lax on the RNG side. The two main sources of RNG time loss we haven't seen at all. We haven't seen any territory attacks, which is basically one of the like third-party crews in this game. There isn't just the main boss crews, but also the third-party crews, like sort of like miscellaneous crews that can sometimes just go and say like, hey, we want this race, but you technically own right now, and you're supposed to re-race it, except with a faster way we can just reload the save file. But that still costs like 10 seconds to do. So that's one main source of RNG time loss, a 10 second per territory attack. And the second source is 20 seconds per cop chase in races. Because as I said at the start of at the introductions of this game, in this game, cops are not required for career mode. So the fastest way to get rid of them is to just either Alt F4 or get busted. And both of them roughly lose like 20 seconds. So it doesn't matter which one you do. So yeah, that's lucky, I guess. No big time loss yet, except, you know, my software where that wasn't RNG, where it's just me screwing up. That was just me being, yeah, just forgetting I need to slow down there. It would be really funny if it ended up being like a world record with other, but my driving isn't too optimal since I am commentating actually. But yeah, we're done with here with another drift event here right here. What I actually haven't talked, I have mentioned like canyon drift and stuff like that before. But yeah, there is a definite distinction between canyon drifts and city drifts in this game. Not that the game calls it out, but physics-wise, this right here, this is what we call a city drift, because while it is technically not in the main part of the city, It is sort of like, it is on the main map. Well, the canyons are too, but like this is basically, like, we don't know exactly why, but this just has slightly different physics. Which at my level and like top level runners actually does matter. The car is more slidier, it reacts better, and doesn't understeer as much as in canyons. And that is why we differ between city drifts, what I'm on right now, and canyon drifts, which we'll see a little bit more later. I'm not getting too optimal speed here. You can hit like 250 km/h right here, but again, this is a marathon run. We're not playing for optimization here. We're playing here to raise some good money for charity and for me to explain you this game and show you this beautiful, beautiful racing game. So speaking of that, by the way, can we just, I don't know if it's possible to do it mid-run. I probably should have sent you the links for that, but if you do want to learn this game, you can look this game up on speedrun.com. There is tons of guides, the entire route for this image. Oh yeah, we've done 4 races in Wolf, so we get the reminder cutscene. The entire route for this game fits into a single image you can have open on your phone or your second monitor or whatever. So you can literally play this game. You've never played it before, never played a racing game before, and just follow the route, which is just one image. So yeah. So if you ever feel like, you know, playing a racing game, this is probably a good call. This is probably a very good start. One more quick checkpoint race, so you'll get to listen to some licensed music a little bit more. I don't actually know right at the start on University Avenue, which is what this track is called, because this track actually has some, like, I don't know, like, it's really, really hard to explain. This is like going deep into game internals, but basically if you, in certain spots on the map, the game likes to clip your car into the ground. And that spot right there, that starting spot right there on University Avenue is one of these spots, and if that happens, the game will essentially, like, it will act as if it's slowing down the car. From a player perspective, it just looks like you applied the brakes when you didn't. This was really confusing. Like, the first time it happened for me, I actually, like, checked my controller, the input display, and was like, what the hell did, like, my controller break? And input, traction is merely a, yeah, okay, so this game does have grip-based physics, but it does have also something called downshift boosting, which downshift handling boosting, which I haven't really talked much about, but I've been using throughout the. Again, this game just has so much stuff to talk about. But basically, if you overwork your engine, and the easiest way to do this is you just downshift when you're already like at the limit of your RPM, right? The car will actually slide out and like sort of like slide in the corner. So here, I will just quickly show you. I'll downshift to the 4. Okay, it didn't happen there, but maybe here, maybe right here. Yeah, right there, you saw the car like starting to slide there. And that's a really efficient way to get around corners. I don't take that shortcut because there's some gates blocking that shortcut, which are like slowing down your car really a lot. So that's why I don't take that shortcut. Even though it would give me a slightly better line. We are not taking that. And yeah, that's almost University Avenue done. So if you like this Mazda Speed 3, if you like, you know, the engine side of this or how it looks, you know, as much as you can see, because I am using hood cam to make, but you know, just for, you know, just for the car enthusiasts, I'll finish this track in 4cam. If you like this car, you're not going to be seeing much of it. Normally, what we'd actually be doing is, well, actually, at this point, we would be buying the Elise no matter what, but back in the really old days, we actually used to do the next track in the Mazda Speed 3 as well. However, so many routing changes. Again, this game has gone through a lot of routing changes. Have led to what is now the fastest route, which is actually going to, we have, at this point, we have the Lotus Elise, as I mentioned earlier. This is our next, it was the best tier 2 choice we have, the fastest tier 2 car possible. And we have all the performance part upgrade, well, actually not all of them, but the ones we want right now. We have a Pro engine, we have Pro Nitrous, and we have a Turbo. And that is the first set of upgrades we're going to be doing for the Elise, because the rest are handling related stuff. And those we're going to get later, because the next 2 tracks we're going to be doing, York Road and Condor Road, give us that handling upgrades. York Road gives us the suspension, and Condor Road will give us street tires. Now, you might have seen there, if you had some really hawk eyes, you might have seen there that we actually had Pro tires available to upgrade. Remember, like, why did you get the Pro tires? Aren't the Pro tires better than the street tires? Well, yes, but actually no. I'm sorry, not sorry. And by the way, if you like it, I just want to quickly shout out. If you like it, if you want to be part of a community that's just 99% memes and 1% speedruns, do join the Need for Speed community. We're all just a bunch of just memers. That's really what it boils down to. But what essentially happened there is what is essentially like the situation with the Lotus Elise is that if you install Pro Tires, the game gives the Elise so much grip it actually bugs out and you have less grip. So like it just bugs out and you just understeer really badly through every corner to the point where it's actually better to just go tireless for York Road and Condor. So yeah, so we actually had like an entire route when we found out 3 tires for the Lotus Elise. We never knew about that, and then one of the Need for Speed Carbon online racers, one of the staff members for the Need for Speed Carbon online Discord, just while we were doing online races, by the way, the online servers for this game are still up, so if you want to race online, that is still an option right now, 13 years after game release. I was doing online races, and KGreg20 just offhandedly just mentioned like, hey, you know, why are you using Pro Tires on the Elise, by the way? Aren't street tires are way better. Like, it's Pro Tires, what do you expect, right? Like, obviously, right? And just do it. And then I never did, right? And then like 2 weeks, moms. KGreg mentioned this for moms. And then at one point, I was like, okay, you know what? I'll actually just try it. I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? We literally, and this entire reroute doesn't save as much time as it does. Street tires do save a lot of time. However, having to do Condor and Yorkwood in a less than optimal handling setup like this, it's rough. It basically means that we're gonna be losing a lot of time with these tracks, but we make that time up double and triple on the rest of career mode. And overall, this routing change comes up to be about a 15 seconds time save with the Lotus. Not 15 seconds, 10 seconds. Overall, 10-second time save. With the early game routers actually found around the same time. That is a 15-second routing improvement, which we found over the last few months, which actually recently led to a new world record. I recently improved the world record by 15 seconds. So yeah. You're being reminded of modding GTA 4. Oh yeah, that is. This game actually has mods too. Some mods I quickly want to shout out, which are super fun to play with. Actually, Speedburger Reyes would hit the wall. And there's a randomizer mod, which actually randomizes what rewards you get from every track and what tracks you actually play in the career mode. So if it's kind of like the OOT randomizer, except it's the rewards and tracks that you play that are randomized. So if you want to play a racing game, with a fresh touch and, something that's never, I guess, a route that's never been done before, do look into the Need for Speed Carbon randomizer. There's the Battle Royale mod, which adds oh my god, I think it adds 20 to 30 hours of extra content into the game. It's all fine. To T-Dog in the chat right now was supposed to be the commentator for this run as well. Supposed to help me with commentary. Unfortunately, T-Dog overslept. It's fine. Looks like I'm doing fine on solo commentary. My throat's hating me right now, but so far I'm doing good. But yeah, those are 2 mods I really want to quickly shout out because those 2 mods are absolutely awesome. And yeah, now that we've got Yorkwood and Condor down, we're now going to be upgrading our Elise a second time and get some very important needed handling upgrades. Now, I just set my suspension to understeer there. Didn't I just say the Elise? Didn't I say that the Elise understeers a lot anyway? Well, yes, but the oversteer and understeer labels in this game are just... Wow! Wow, the game's just giving everything for me to explain right now. So we just got a sound glitch. Let's talk about sound glitch first. So if you want a really fast, don't pause the timer by the way, timer keeps going. If you want a really fast, if you're playing this game on a really modern CPU, I might actually have to re-upgrade my thing. Yeah, I do. If you're on a really fast CPU, the game actually has a chance of just kind of randomly crashing on cutscenes. We don't really know why. But that is what happened where we got the fabled sound glitch. And the sound just keeps playing it after a while the cutscene just freezes. So that's what I got there. More time loss, woo. Sorry about that. I don't know if I swerved. I might have dropped the swerver. If I did, I apologize. I might just unconsciously drop the swerver there. But yeah, let's start tuning. The oversteer and understeer labels in the performance part menu are actually just straight up swapped. Like, it says understeer, but we actually set our car to oversteer, which is very well needed for the Elites, because this car likes to understeer by default a lot. And yeah, now we're in Elite drifting. So there's actually like a entirely separate alternate route where you actually do these drifts in the Master Speed 3. Because Elite drifting is, oh dear, this is hard. This game is like, this car essentially has like an input delay in drift events, which is not good, especially when you hit a sign. The game just gives you full understeer and you just eat straight into the wall. Yeah, whatever. Lost all my speed there, but it's fine. It is totally fine. I can work with that. So that's another huge time loss. So I don't fall off here. Don't understeer again into the wall there. But yeah, we have one more drift coming up. Actually, I think now what I think about it, we have a little bit of a cutscene right here. Yeah, we do. We have a little bit of a cutscene right here. So if there's any donors, this will be the time for one quick donation. Sorry to kind of like go this faster. I should have told you earlier.
I don't know what's more pathetic, your crew or your car.
Did my Discord die? Hello? Oh, sorry. Hello? Say? Hello?
Hi. You're
Hi.
here.
We're back? Did we lose the Discord for a little bit there?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
I thought we lost the Discord for a little bit there. But yeah, feel free, if we do have a donor, feel free to read it while I'm doing this under this second Elite drift.
Yeah, we don't have any donations at the moment, but let's talk a little bit about what the Trevor Project does. And for the past 20 years, Trevor has worked to save young lives by providing support through their free and confidential crisis programs on platforms where young people spend their time, online and on the phone. Trevor Lifeline, their 24-hour phone line, launched in 1998, hasn't stopped since. Trevor Chat, a crisis service for youth that prefer to talk via online messenger. Trevor Text, a crisis service via text for youth that prefer texting on their phones. And Trevor Spade, which is the world's largest safe space social network for LGBTQ youth. The Trevor Project also goes beyond their frontline crisis services to invest in education, outreach, and advocacy resources, working with local, state, and federal levels to advocate for legislation that protects the rights of LGBTQ people.
That sounds like an awesome organization. You should totally give your money to that. As I said, if we do get a donor, feel free to just interrupt me. Just no problem.
Of course.
Anything I can talk about, I can talk about later. So, one thing... Oh, no, what I just realized is because I started it from free roam. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, Mason Fountain is another one of these tracks where you can get... This is Mason Fountain right now. Where you can get cop chases from time to time, even just with cell and with speech off. But looks like we got lucky here. Looks like there's no cop chases because normally the scripted spawn space is right here. They would be spawning on this straight right here, and we're good here. And I am very much aware that there's some terminology that like applies both to like the marathon course and like, you know, racing game terminology. There's a few words that I'm not gonna talk about, but there's some friction between some words in the racing game terminology that I am very much like, I have some very strong opinions on. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Need for Speed Carbon. And we're about to finish up Mason Fountain, and we're going into, I believe, as far as I'm aware, we're going into our first actual just regular canyon. I think so. Let me just double check that in my head. Yeah, this is our first actually just regular canyon sprint. This is just canyon, but it's just a sprint event, just down a canyon. So we're just down here, you know. The road's obviously a little bit, this is a little different than City Race because the road is just way more narrow. So your racing lines matter a lot more what you want to do. But luckily, sometimes there's corners without signs on the outside, which means you can just wall ride them like that. You don't really get to do that in the city because the barriers in the city are like very bumpy, if that makes sense. Like there's like super, like they're not smooth, but they're like, you know, staggered. Like, you know, there's like, you know, one section that's flat and then another section that's flat with like a sharp angle. So if you wall ride them, you usually just gonna like spin out or lose way too much speed. Unfortunately, we can't wall ride this corner as much as we'd love to. There's too many signs on the outside there, so you have to take a normal racing line. But hey, that's where you've got the world record holder running this game for you, right? My gameplay's not looking like it right now, but hey, it happens. So I'm actually not sure, but did I submit 2 hours 5 minutes, or did I submit 2 hours flat for this as an estimate? Because I vary between those two for marathons depending on how I feel about like what gameplay I might be able to provide.
Your estimate was the 2 hours and 5 minutes.
2 hours and 5 minutes. All right, nice. So we still have a lot of leeway to go. That gold really won us a gold. Nice. Gold really won. It was a gold. Very nice. that's comedy. But it actually recently swapped to game time splits because we do have our automatic load remover right now, which you actually see in the bottom right of the. If it's not cut off, it shouldn't be. I did say that. Like I'm actually like just in terms of, like in case you're interested in stream tech wise, I'm actually streaming at a raw 4x3 resolution, so there shouldn't have been like any cropping shenanigans for the stream tech. Which, you know, me being a stream tech myself, I guess if we're just on regular track racing right now, I guess we can talk a little bit about myself. Because I'm a stream tech myself, and I would honestly, anyone that likes to deal with speedrunning and just likes to watch speedruns, I would heavily recommend for you to get into stream tech, or otherwise known as restreaming, or just helping with marathons in general. It is an absolutely very fulfilling experience. I myself have like 650 hours of just handling streams, just setting up streams, restreaming stuff. And it's just such a great experience. And during pre-set, I was actually talking to the restreamer for this run, and we actually had like roughly like the same amount of like experience. It's just great to meet people that are just as enthusiastic as I am with the things I love. So if you want to get started with that, I can absolutely help you with that as well. Like if you're interested in like, you know, stream teching for events in general, I can like teach you how to like genuinely work with OBS and stuff. So if you like doing that, then do get in touch with me as well. Or if you want to run this game in particular, then, you know, I'm mostly your main contact. But I think that's enough plugging about myself. Let's talk about how we're about to finish up Kenji. So we're essentially at this point, we've got our fully upgraded Lotus Elise, and we're not going to be changing anything off that. Just like the Master Speed 3, just like we got that doing NG. We're not going to be changing this car at this point anymore, and at this point it is literally just racing again. It is just do these tracks as fast as we possibly can. And one thing to note is that in the Elise, brakes start to matter a lot. So there's a quote, and I hate to say this during a marathon, but I do have to call this out because there has this sentence that has been said has caused a lot of, I guess, misunderstanding in racing game communities. But there's a famous racing game streamer, you might have heard of him. He's called PUWP. You probably heard of him. He streams a lot of different racing games. So back when PUWP was streaming most Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 speedruns, he said something that is absolutely incorrect, and unfortunately, a lot of people have taken it as like advice. And what he said was the following: brakes don't matter, they just slow us down. And that is absolutely incorrect. And I have to call it out because there's a lot of people that like go into racing games from Courage as racing game speedruns. I have to just call that out. It is like no bad feelings, absolutely no bad feelings. Because the way Crew plays, the way like Crew plays Most Wanted, where he is right, he doesn't need to use brakes a lot, but in Need for Speed Carbon and like almost every other grip-based race, you need to use brakes. The reason for that is that there is a certain speed you can do corners with. Even if you do the optimal racing line, there is a maximum speed you can drive with that corner. And if you can slow down to that maximum speed faster than just letting your throttle go before the corner, then you're gonna be driving on the straight before that corner, or whatever part of the track you're driving before that corner, faster. Meaning you're gonna be saving time by just braking at the right moment. So right here, take a look at my input this way, braking, and then taking that racing line where it's gone a little bit too far on the outside, but you get the point. If I had to leave the throttle off there, I would have had to leave my throttle off way earlier in order to slow the car down, and that is what brakes are important. Also straight over that traffic car, let's go. So I just wanted to say that. It might sound a little bit personal, it's absolutely not personal, trust me on that. It is just an advice that kind of applies to most one, because most one, it slows you down a lot when you leave your throttle. That's been misapplied to many different other games, so I just wanted to set that clear. You need to use brakes if you want to become a really good racing game speedrunner. In a hard grip based game, you need to use brakes. There is no way around it. So you're gonna be seeing me hard hitting my brakes here again, right before this corner, hopefully at the right time, and then hopefully steering at the right time as well. Very good, 220 km/h corner around here with the Lotus Elise. That is amazing for Silk Road. Silk Road also sometimes gives you a cop chase right at the end of the track, but it looks like we're not getting that. And with that was our last track of Kenji and of the Kenji boss area, and we finally get to challenge Kenji. But I've been talking for like an hour. I need to take a sip, stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated, absolutely. Oh my god, my throat is like, thank you so much right now. I've been talking like for almost over an hour now. And we're not even, like, I guess we're just halfway done, a little bit more than halfway done into the game at this point. But yeah, this is the same thing as Angie. It's a 2-lap circuit race followed up by a canyon overtake where we're going to be doing. So really, it's all about the racing again. So again, at this point, the game does become, if you're just, just a casual observer, the game does become a little bit grindy. Like, if you're just thinking about this, right? It's just racing. But again, as I said, follow my racing lines. Just pay attention, how close am I hitting the inside of the corner? How am I using my NOS? Am I using my NOS for straights? Am I, hitting walls on the outside, right? All of that stuff makes racing game speedruns just interesting from a outsider's perspective. To me, and this is gonna sound weird, ruin here, raise your hand if you like, just game audio only speedruns. Just games that you've never heard before, just imagine for a second that there was no commentary on here, right? Like, would you be here if there's no commentary, or would you be watching your favorite series if there's no commentary? The answer is probably not, right? Commentary makes streams, right? But the reality is, once you get into racing game speedruns, the gameplay itself is very much immersive. Like, just paying attention to every corner, how close we are to the inside of the corner, or what we call the apex. How fast we're going through every corner. All of that stuff, it's crazy. Once you start focusing on a stream, it's like you don't even need commentary at this point. That's why I love racing game speedruns. I can hop into anyone's stream, anyone's speedrun stream. They don't even need a mic, and I'm entertained by it. That was a bad corner, by the way. I hit the wall then, and after one big I hit the tree there as well. But that's the beauty about racing game speedruns, and that's what, oh, I haven't announced this at all, have I? Wow, I haven't been totally talking, I forgot to talk about this. Oh, so y'all know about Games Done Quick, right? Like, what you might not know is that Games Done Quick has a weekly show, weekly set of shows that happen as part of their so-called hotfix program. I'm kind of involved in that as a volunteer as well for chat. But what's really important is that there's a show on there. It happens every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, called the Community Spotlight. And on June 22, we have been not on that, like that's in the future, but a few weeks ago we have been contacted by the showrunner of that show, Railkin, to have a Need for Speed community spotlight on the Games Done Quick channel. So yeah, we're gonna be showing off these essentially excerpts from the entire series. Yeah, it's gonna be, I can't actually talk about the games list yet or who's gonna be running, but stuff is going to come out very shortly. But I can say that there is going to be a Need for Speed community spotlight, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you want more Need for Speed content, then do tune into Games Done Quick on June 22 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is, I believe, 1 a.m. Central European Summer Time on the next day, so June 23. So that is going to be super hype. And yeah, that is, I'm going to be calling this out at the end of the run again. So I figured I'd show this off, I'd say this right now. But yeah. Yeah, that was definitely like, I was sobbing when because the thing is, I just want to quickly to tell you that story. I am involved with the GDQ hotfix as part of being in their chat volunteer team. Which is basically just looking at that chat and making sure that, chat's good. That's what it boils down to. But the crazy thing is, I know that Railkin, I'm really sorry if I mispronounced your name, by the way, if you're here. I cannot pronounce your name, I'm sorry. It's just nuclear backwards, by the way. There's no reason why Railkin would... Oh, by the way, we ignore the GBA because it's faster to just go through here. Because we just have to take one corner. Anyway, so I know that Railkin has no need to be in Need for Speed Discord, just community Discord, speedrunning Discord, and why would Railkin doesn't speedrun Need for Speed, whatever. It's just showrunner for Games Done Quick, right? And then one day, I wake up and I get a message from I check the Need for Speed Discord, I check the Carbon channel in there, and I see a ping in there. It's it's cousin Oof. Being hey George, you might be interested in this. I scroll up, I see Railkin's name. I don't even need to read the message and to know what's up. I was sobbing that day. That was just, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be will be there. What's the word for that? To be, what's the word for to be there, but future tense? But you know what I mean. To be there in the Games Done Quick channel. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. And in case that's not enough Need for Speed to you, we also have a community marathon coming to you August 7 to 9. So, yeah. Lots and lots of Need for Speed content planned for the next few months. But yeah, for now, we're just playing Need for Speed Carbon. We're back to regular track racing. We've just beat up Kenji. And now it's time to finish up Wolf. So the reason would be, there's a reason why we do Kenji for, actually we technically, if it wasn't for one trick that we're going to be doing later, technically we have a choice of what we do first if we just finish up Kenji or Wolf first. But there is one trick later that's going to save 15 seconds that requires Kenji's save house being available. And that is why we do Kenji first. But yeah, now we're just finishing up. Oh yeah, oh my god, I didn't talk about this. Agosti Avenue, the track we're doing right now. This long straight is followed up by a Pussy Breaker, and if we drive underneath it, we at least can actually barrel roll. I totally forgot to say, but let's hope it happens. Oh no, I wasn't able to explain this at all, just forgot about it. But basically what happens is underneath that sculpture I drove through there is a little bit of track geometry that that randomly can lift the left side of your car upwards. And if that happens, your car will essentially barrel roll or corkscrew flip after going through the Pussy Breaker, which is just crazy. It looks cool. It barely even loses time too. But unfortunately we didn't get it. I've gotten it once in a marathon setting. That was doing Resort Fest International in, I believe, late 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the only time it's ever happened in a marathon. I popped off. And ever since then, no luck doing marathons. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe one day again. Unfortunately, not today. But yeah, just to close that out, that entire corkscrew, it just looks so swag. But it's actually made it into a video by Easy Skate called Swag Struts and Speedrunning. It's number 2, so if you want to look it up, it's Swag Struts number 2. like Sweat Stacks and Speedrunning number 2. That's the video title. So just plop it into YouTube and it'll be there in there. And it just looks so good. It's crazy. But yeah, enough talk about that. We're already like halfway down into our next track. So I'm actually gonna be like, you would think I would use a lot of my knots here because there's like a long stretch part, but I'm actually gonna be saying most of my knots are up right now because if you look in the minimap, there is just the sharpest corner in the world coming up right now. So that's what I'm saying about my knots. So that when I'm exiting this corner, I can just knots all the way, get my speed up all the way again. So I'm back at full speed right after this sharp corner, and that's why you save up all your knots. Because I could be using my knots earlier, but no place anywhere would it be as effective as there. And that's like, as I mentioned earlier, that's another big part of like how you optimize this game. Where do you use your NOS? When do you decide to save up your NOS? When do you decide to actually put on like a really short burst of NOS, thinking that, you know, you might overrun your NOS and, you know, get a full bar before you want it. So I actually saved up too much there. You can see I'm actually finishing the track with some leftovers, so that was bad. But hey, slight mistakes only, just slight mistakes. So it looks like we're currently, I guess, on 155 pace. Oops, I guess we're bringing the schedule back, lads. Have we heard back about the 4 grand potential, like, idea yet, or not yet?
Sadly, with the schedule we've got going on, we won't be
unfortunate.
But we should still try and push.
Yeah, absolutely still try. Go for 4K. I'm gonna be really happy if we go for 4K. Like, if we manage to get 4K.
And to help us get there, we have a $5 donation from Maria. I hope I pronounced that right. With the comment, nice to see a racing game in this marathon. Really enjoyed the commentary. And
thank you.
I have to say, I am too.
I've done this so. I'm really tempted to just kind of like pause my timer right now, look at my event tracking sheet, and just link that in the chat. I'm just really tempted to do that right now, but like I'm not. I'm gonna link it again. But I have a tracking sheet for all the runs I've done. Actually, I guess if you just go to my Twitch channel quickly, it is linked there somewhere, but I don't know exactly where in my bio. So if you want to look it up, it's there. I've done many marathon runs. I love doing marathon runs. I love doing marathon, you know, tech stuff as well. And yeah, so I've experienced. Are there any interesting glitches in this game? You will see one being set up right now. So we're actually, before we challenge Wolf, we're actually gonna jump to Kenji's safe house right away. And that is going to come into effect when we're done with Wolf. So just remember that for later. That is a setup. That is going to save us 15 seconds later down the line. So it costs some time to jump to that safe house, but it's going to save us a lot more later. But aside from that, in this run, particularly not too much. In New Game Plus, oh yes.
I'm just surprised.
There's wrong warps, there's an out of bounds that takes a while to set up, so it isn't possible to do in speed. Like, it doesn't save anything in speedruns, but you can go out of bounds as well in this game. There's just all sorts of glitches. Traffic, please. Okay, saved it really well. Remember what I said about traffic a while back? Like, you don't have to just take a traffic and just be like, oh, traffic was in my way. No, you can take lines like this, back it up. You don't have to crash into traffic. Like, yes, I lost time for that, but I also read that I could go on the outside there. And that's the skill of racing games. Just being able to, like, with traffic, like being able to read around traffic and just take backup lines and all of that stuff. There was a stop. That's not a glitch. That was me. I guess it's not really like, it's just the game like freaking out and just putting the like crew Nikki. That's her name. Putting her like just not being programmed to deal with that situation and just speeding ahead. But the game has a failsafe for that. After a while, the game just restarts the tutorial for you. I just did it manually because I knew that would happen. I just cut it off there. I was like, yep, I'm just gonna restart here. I know I'm soft locked here, so it will restart for me anyway. But yeah, we actually, so fun fact, if that didn't happen, we actually wouldn't be, like, if that didn't happen and that sound glitch didn't happen, we'd actually only be like 30 seconds off world record. So yeah, this game is hyper optimized. 30 seconds back for me is an immediate run reset. 10 seconds behind an early game in PB attempts is run reset. Like, that's how optimized racing games are, and how much are well, this game in particular, how much I optimize it. But there is someone, I don't know if you're still in the chat. There's somebody that was supposed to help me with commentary, unfortunately overslept. It happens. It's like 7 a.m. in Germany for T-Dog as well. But yeah, T-Dog is getting close. T-Dog is the first player that is realistically able to take my world record since, I kid you not, 3 years. So we might have a situation like in Most Wanted 2005 where the 3-year-old streak of somebody holding a world record it is generally possible. I recently improved my world record again, so I extended the lead a bit, but still, T-Dog has easily a minute and 30 seconds of time save. At any given point, I might just wake up to T-Dog just being like, oh hey, yeah, I got world record. So, and I'm not like, I wouldn't even be sad. I would be super stoked because I've been missing competition ever since I got the world record. It's always felt like it's just kind of like being me at the top there. And just, so I really, really appreciate the competition that T-Dog has brought into this game. Need for Speed Most Wanted is crazy this year, absolutely. There's so many active runners for Most Wanted in Carbon right now. We literally, oh yeah, this is another thing I need to call out. We literally have a Carbon tournament ongoing right now. There's a match on Monday. T-Dog will be facing off against Kazanov on Monday at 8 p.m. CST. CEST, Central European Summertime. But again, there's gonna be, I don't know if I would be, I can post links in chat at the end, if I can, if you could, if the host could quickly check that with staff, if normal people can post links in chat, because if not, I will have to make sure I like DM those links to staff so they can post it first.
That's probably better that you just send it to us.
Right, yeah, but at the end, I will be giving staff members like a ton of links to like send in chat. We have just so much that's happening. So I want to shout all of that out at the end of the run, of course. But yeah, so we're going to be driving to Colin, which is supposed to be our next room, but it's going to skip all of that and merge the crew selection soon, because at this point, we have the final area of the game unlocked, and we get to drive to Darius from Kenji's safe house. So this drive right here uses the last free roam location you set. And you can set your free roam location by just jumping to a safe house. Remember what I did right before Ruiner Tunnel, jumping to Kenji's safe house? That's what this saves here there. So we're not actually going to be using Colin, because when you beat all 3 bosses, you also get another crew member, which is called Nikki. You remember that? Remember the girl that taught us all about the tutorial and like the crew system at the start? She's now on our side. Finally, lore-wise, the game has now progressed to the point with Darius. Until this part, we were buddies with Darius, but now the game has progressed to a point where we found out he's the bad guy, and we're the good guys. Although we actually don't know. All we know, like, we don't. Actually, we do know that the lead character of the game is male, but that's all we know. That's all we know. We don't know anything more. But yeah, just want to set that clear for the record, since we are a power up of pride here.
Yeah, I have a quick donation.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a $20 donation from Ian Keith that says, "Fantastic work on running your own commentary during such an intense, focus-heavy game. Keep up the great work."
Thank you. Yeah, so if you see me run this during PB attempts, I just want to be really open. If you end up following me after this run, I just want to be really clear that when I'm actually doing PB attempts, I am much grumpier than this. Like, oh dear, I have a scene in my OBS that it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm credits with a let's just say with a profanity text scrolling in the background, and suffice to say, I use that scene more than I'd like to admit when ending a stream. So yeah, it's an unfortunate situation with running a game that's this optimized, where like losing 2 seconds on a track is just unacceptable. But yeah, that's what you deal with. So when you see me PB attempts for this game, you will see me in a much like grumpy, but I will be full focus like most of the time. Like, if I get out of NG, out of the first boss, like it is just gonna be. Usually I just like, kind of just start talking just about my mistakes, and just for the rest of it, I just just silent. And when it goes to the diaries, it's just silence for me. It's just I sometimes even just turn off my mic and just full focus on the game if I go into PB. Like if I actually have a PB run. But yeah, we are finally in the last area of the game. We have just finished up our first race, which is Olympic Border 1. We're now going to a really long checkpoint race called Neon Mara. Now, you'll be thinking, why? Oh, that's a territory attack we can ignore. So remember when I talked about territory attacks, so that we can reload them to get rid of them. We don't have to do that there because that's in Wolf's area right there. We already beat Wolf. We don't care about that. Progression-wise, the game doesn't care if you lose a race that's like on a boss you've already beaten, but we can just ignore it right there, and so we're getting that. So now we're doing Neon Mile. This is a really long checkpoint race, but we have to do it because the territory that we're now in, because not only do races unlock stuff, I haven't thought that, I forgot to mention this at the start, not only do races unlock stuff, but also the territories themselves. Remember that pro engine upgrade we got for the Madsen Speed 3 right at the start of the run? Yeah, that was unlocked through a territory, the eastmost territory of NG. So yeah. And this territory gives us the Dodge Viper. And we're gonna be using that car for a whopping 1 race. So I hope you don't like that car because yeah, you're not gonna be seeing it. But the way we use it is because there are Canyon Duel rematches in this in the last area of the game. Traffic. See, that's where I say yeah, traffic can screw you over sometimes. But there are rematches in the last area of Silverton. There are Canyon Duels. Events against the former bosses NG, Kenji, and Wolf, and we have to do the Wolf Canyon rematch because the territory that races in unlocks us the best car in the game, the Corvette 06. So we have to do that, and because it's Canyon Duel, we can just overtake Wolf. And in order to do that, we just buy a stock Dodge Viper, which has way more acceleration than the Elise. It handles worse, but we just need to overtake Wolf, hold our lead, and just kind of like block Wolf from overtaking us back in a way. And then yeah, but that's still, there's still this race and then one more race in between before we're able to do that. And that race in between, we're about done with Neon Mile right here. That race in between is Camera Road. And if you've ever played Most Wanted speed traps, especially 1.2 speed traps, this is kind of like, it's not that bad, but it is kind of like this. This is a speed trap, and I haven't been calling this out at all, because until this point, speed traps, the AI is so easy that speed traps are basically just sprint events. However, this is where this turned. Oh no, and this is where this really turned because I just got blocked into the shot by my own crew member. Wow, thank you, Nikki. Whatever. So this race right here, Kenma Road, is you race against tier 3 AI in a tier 2 car, and if you get an unfortunate AI carpool with them, they can get a lot of speed on the speed traps. It looks like we're not facing off against any Corvettes though, which is like my main concern right there. So we should be safe. Obviously we're gonna be a little bit closer to me since I got wow, okay, this is really bad because now I'm gonna be screwed into the shortcut. To the speed trap, so I'm gonna be missing some speed. Normally I drive that speed trap at like 250 km/h. On the bonus side, that slowed me down so much better. Now I actually get to draft Nikki. Nikki's a drafter, so I actually get to be in a drafting zone and get additional acceleration and handling. So this is going to help a bunch. I do need to be very careful because Nikki likes to tap insides of corners and then just kind of like, spin out and drag you along for the ride. So I need to be very careful if that doesn't happen. All right, let's go, Nikki. You're about to run out here. I'm actually gonna lose you here, get a good speed trap, and then use speed breaker to make it around that corner. Charge you up again. All you need to do to charge her back up is just drive it a little bit. Because what I want her to do is I want her to pass me before the straight right here, which unfortunately isn't looking like it's happening. So I'm gonna have to hold my own the straight here. Just not here. I'm just gonna charge her back up. Maybe I can draft her at the end a little bit. I lost track of her, so I won't be able to reactivate her if it's bad. But yeah, that's like the sort of like micro optimizations you can do with drafters. She did take the shortcut, so I might be able to reactivate her if she gets close enough. Nope, she didn't get close enough. So I'll be on my own here, but we're safe to win here. We're absolutely safe to win here. But it is possible, it is absolutely possible to lose camera mode. And so it is to have to restart the following event. No, we're not doing camera mode again. We are going into the car lot, we're buying ourselves a Dodge Viper, and we're doing one track with this Viper. We're doing Deadfall Junction Canyon Duel rematch against Wolf. And Wolf's now driving a Lamborghini Murcielago, which we are going to overtake. However, this overtake, you are barely going to get enough speed to overtake Wolf. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to overtake on the outside and then swoop right back into Wolf's line to make Wolf think that I'm sort of like brake checking him. Take close attention to the rear mirror right now and notice how Wolf starts slowing down a little bit. Yeah, notice how like Wolf kind of like, you know, didn't pressure us anymore at some point. It just kind of like gave up. That was the first try. I'm really consistent at this trick, but if you're starting out, this will be a major, you know, time loss point. And now we have the Corvette unlocked. One, like, the best car. There is, if you're starting out, the Mitsubishi Lancer might be easier to control, but this car is currently stock. No performance part upgrades, no engine, no NOS. Look at the acceleration of this car. This car is stock. So yeah, when we put a pro engine upgrade, pro NOS and everything on this car, this car will just go zoom. Like, I've actually, this is not a joke. There's some better upgrades that we can actually get in a career 100% run, but it's unlocked through tracks that you really don't want to be doing in any percent because they're way too long. There's alternative tracks that are way shorter, so it's not worth getting the full upgrade set. But there is something called a race engine, race NOS. That's like the final stage of upgrades. It's called racing upgrades. And I've actually calculated once, if you have a fully set up Corvette with all race upgrades, you will get, when I did this, I got a perfect launch and I NOSed off that perfect launch, and then I went through the video frame by frame to actually calculate the speed I had at that frame, and then based off that data, calculated the acceleration of that car. The end result is that if you get a perfect launch in a fully upgraded Corvette Z06 in this game, if that was a real-life car, it would press you into the seat with 6 Gs, 6 times Earth acceleration. This car would G-lock you. Like, I don't know. Like, how do you make a car this overpowered in a game? I don't know. But yeah, 6 Gs. 6 Gs horizontal acceleration. I don't know either. But yeah. We have now with Eagle Drive, the reason why we did this last track Eagle Drive in stock is because it unlocks the engine. It's not worth just getting the Pro NOS and ties just for that track. So there we go. I don't know why I'm going back to Pro tires. I'd like to race upgrades. Is that a Lister mode? I'm pretty sure Lizzie's in this marathon as well, isn't she? I'm pretty sure that's a Lister mode. I'm like 99% sure too. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I was just able to double check. Yeah, Liz, she will be at the marathon later as well. I actually forgot what game she's running. If the host would be able to tell me that, because I really want to catch that run.
Listar?
Yeah, Listar.
Yeah, she is doing everyone's favorite Skittle game, Dark Sky.
Ooh. I need to check that out too. Also, in case you noticed, this overtake, you have a fully upgraded Corvette going against against the Mitsubishi Lancer controlled by the AI. Yeah, that just kind of happens. You just easiest overtake. But yeah, look at this acceleration. Boom, 0 to 300 in like what, 5 seconds? There you go. So this car, let's talk about racing this car. Holy crap, this car is the best car in the game. It is also the hardest car to control. And it is time to make an addendum to our racing lines. So remember how I talked about geometric racing lines and how you want to start on the outside of a corner and then, you know, clip the inside and then go on the outside again? Well, that's still going to happen. However, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually take what's known as a late apex at this point, which means I'm going to brake later and sort of take like a wider line, all in favor of straightening out the car faster. So that's going to happen right here. Look, my goal here is to straighten out the car as I didn't get it on that corner. Let's see if I can get it on here. My goal is to straighten out the car as fast as possible so I can get the huge acceleration this car has. Unfortunately, I just completely ditched these 180s here. But yeah, 180s are like the perfect example of how you want to do late apexes. You just want to kind of like... It's really hard to explain without props, but basically what you want to do is you want to brake harder and later, and then that way you will clip the inside of the corner harder and later, but at that point you will be straightening out the car earlier. And straightening out the car is really important to get good acceleration on it. But also for long corners, you can actually spin the Corvette. Because while this game does have grip physics, also, you know, it has some arcade elements like spinning and all of that stuff, and controlled spinning. So if there's a really long extended corner, it can be worth just kind of like controlled spinning it. Like right here is a good example of such a corner. Not this left corner, but the right corner before that. A good example of spinning the car. And there's going to be another super good example coming up on the track right after. We're just finishing up Deadfall Junction right now. And we're going to be doing Starlight Street after. Starlight Street is going to be a super harsh city track in the midst of Silverton, with sharp corners everywhere, you know, extended corners. Right off the start, we have the super long extended corner. So we kind of just want to hold right there and just get the car into, like, you know, not really spinny, but just kind of like control it around the corner. And then right here is kind of like, you know, something where you kind of want to spin the car. And then a long extended 180. Unfortunately, I'm not driving too well right now, since I'm not really able to show you what I mean right now. This corner right here is simplified by the fact that there's no signs on the outside, so I can literally just wall ride this. And now, on Starlight Street, actually, no one of you would think, don't you want to take the outside? I'm taking the inside here, because this corner is like a 140-degree bend, so I want to be on the outside for that. So I'm essentially sacrificing my line for one corner a little bit, just so I have a better line around that there. Which saves a little bit of time. So, my driving's not too bad right now, but again, hitting the walls is default in the Corvette. I'm making driving this car look way easier than it is. Like, this car, any carbon runner still in the chat will be able to confirm, if T-Dog is still here, can confirm how just hard it is to keep this car under control. Looks like Traffic drove through the shortcut there. So it laid its gate, the gates of the shortcut, like down on the road. I actually got a little bit stuck on the gates there. There was a funny incident in one of the online tournaments. And yes, this game has online tournaments. Where one of the racers, I believe it was Johnny, got stuck on a gate forever and actually lost like a lot of places due to that. And actually, like, and that affected his point counter enough that he actually lost a place in the final standings. So yeah, that can happen. Gates can be left on the ground like that and can slow you down. But yeah, at this point, also what I totally haven't called out is, remember that I hired Nikki, right? Oh, I don't want to do that event. I could have done that event, but I want to keep my splits for now. Remember how I hired Nikki? The reason why I hired Nikki is because, well, it does take some time to hire her. Oh, sorry, my throat just got sore. The reason why I spent the time to hire Nikki there is because Nikki, as her active bonus, gives you 50% more NOS. And also speed per hour, we don't really care about that. 50% more NOS. It is well worth a couple seconds to hire her. And because she's a drafter, you can save yourself if you like really crash really badly. You can draft her and make up some time with that. So it's absolutely worth going for Nikki and using her as a crew member. That is a really good set of corners where I took that S-bend really well. And now right here, high action corner. And I'm kind of like controlled spinning the car around that. Could have spun it around that corner a little bit faster, but hey, if you want to see PB attempts for this game, then, you know where my Twitch channel is. But yeah, with that being said, we're actually getting pretty close to the end of this game, so I'm still like, I know you're not supposed to say like stuff like that during the marathon, but this is going to be roughly, I think we're like on 155, 156 pace roughly right now, RTA wise, not loadless. And the bottom right is actually like a loadless timer that you can compare against if you want to like compare. It's not accurate exactly to the leaderboard, it's pretty close to the leaderboard at this point, but it's not exactly accurate because the leaderboard is actually timed by manual retiming. And yes, that is as pain as it sounds. That means whenever we get a PB, right now the system is we go for a video frame by frame, take out every load on the frame. So yeah, it takes a lot of work, but that's what we do for a fair leaderboard. But there is some plans about using this loadless timer in the future. And that's why I'm using it, so we have data for it. Oh, God. Yeah. That's kind of one of these situations where like traffic cars can just screw you over. But yeah. Oh, I haven't called this out either. You can bump your car here. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out too well, but I have another chance. This is a 2-lap event. This is a circuit. You can bump your car and get like a really good spin on it to make the entire corner at like 250 km/h. And also, traffic, please just stop being straight. Like, can traffic please stop being in locations where I can't avoid it? That'd be so. Alright, let's keep it calm. Traffic being a little bit of a nuisance right now, but we can deal with that. And, you know, at worst, it'll be a couple seconds time loss. So this should easily be underestimate pace right now, unless I get some crazy stuff like a sound glitch on the last cutscene right before the end of the game. But let's see if I can do the high-speed wall bump on lap 2. So this is gonna be like a 340 km/h wall bump. Let's see if I can do it. Brake hard. Now I'm gonna hit the wall. But it's fine. At least I'm getting less screwed by traffic on lap 2 so far. Might have just jinxed myself, let's be real. Another unintentional wall hit there, but that wall hit there can actually be beneficial. So like spinning you into the shortcut, there's people that actually go for it intentionally. I try not to, but if I do hit the wall there, that traffic was actually good because that allowed me to just hit that and just take the corner that way. Alright, and that's North Broadway done. So we actually don't have many tracks left. I think at this point we have 3 tracks left? No. No, 4 tracks. We have 4 tracks left at this point. So Spade Street, the track we're doing right now, actually features the only barrier wall ride of this game. Because we're going to be driving on a really long straight, and then we're going to be going into like a really sharp corner, and it's going to put us like right next to the barrier, because we're going to be driving a shortcut, and then that shortcut puts us like right next to the barrier. At the end of the straight, we're going to be doing a sharp right corner, and we're just going to be using the barriers to wall ride, because it'd be pointless to try and slow down. So here's your only barrier wall ride the entire game. And that actually went really well. It's an amazing exit speed. That barrier wall ride is a little bit RNG because you don't know how the barriers are going to interact with your car. But there you go. The only barrier wall ride of the entire game. And now it's back to original Corvette driving. So I actually want to take the slow because I want a really, really wide line for this corner so I can take as much speed as possible throughout this. And attempt the wall there. No, that screwed me over so much. Also, another interesting thing about did I just jump over a traffic car? Very nice. I'm not taking the shortcut on the right there because if I were, this next corner right here, I would be straight facing the wall here. But the time save from that doesn't matter because there's a traffic car inside the part where I can't avoid it. So thank you, game. And we're approaching very, very slowly. We're approaching the end of the run. It is only like, I think like 15 minutes left at this point. Contingency, I can easily ignore that. Into Bowen Avenue with us. So this is a speed trap, but once again, at this point we have a good enough car, but it just becomes a sprint event. The AI is not going to win this. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been ever a speedrunner that has lost an event on this track. There have been instances of people losing other speed trap events. There have been instances, obviously, as mentioned earlier, Kenma Road has seen many instances of people losing the event. Park Drive has been lost by a couple people due to a lot of traffic crashes and stuff. And I think Mission Street as well in the past. One of the really early NG speed traps, so yeah. And I think also Escuri. Actually, no, Escuriway was the one. Escuriway was the one. It wasn't Mission Street, it was Escuriway. Mission Street is a sprint. What am I talking about? Imagine telling lies. We'll go on the internet and just tell lies. How we're looking on the nation total right now, by the way, I'm curious. How close are we? We've got 50 minutes to go roughly here.
Yeah, we are at $3,576.
Yeah, that 4K goal might have been a little bit unrealistic, but I don't regret it.
You gotta shoot high.
You gotta shoot high, absolutely.
And helping us get one step closer is a $25 donation from Absolutely Trusty that just says, power up.
Absolutely. Alright, so, good start to the event. So this is, if you think canyon drifts are annoying from what I've told you about like the drift physics and stuff, you haven't seen this. This is by far the most hated event by all Carbon speedrunners. This is what we don't even refer by its track name, which is German Spain. We just refer it as the vet drift because Corvette drifting. This car it slides way too much for drifting. It's really hard to keep your speed. It's really easy to just overslide or underslide and just mess up a corner, and oh god, this entire event can just nope. I wish it wouldn't exist, but it's the fastest way because the alternative would be doing a 2-lap circuit that takes like 3 minutes to complete in total. So yeah. And also, the coming left turn, not this left turn, has breakable barriers, and because it's so sharp, there have been runs lost to that left and right. Including back when I had a 157 RTA PB, I have choked like 3 runs on, like, no, 158 PB I meant. 159. When I had a 159 PB, I actually was able to get a 157, skip the 158. I have lost like 3 or 4 runs that were on 157 pace before I skipped it. I was not supposed to do that. That was a territory attack on stealth, but I think I can just jump to save house and still reload the save. It won't auto-save there, which is fine. It just lost me some additional time because it kept the track for me. And we're on to our last track of career mode, of the normal career mode. So this is NG Canyon Rematch, and there's supposed to be this sort of like introduction cutscene where the car where it like zooms in, but for some reason, you can skip that cutscene, puts you straight into the race with not even a 3 to 1 countdown. We don't know why, we just know it happens. Like, ask someone at EA. Have fun finding someone at EA that can answer the question. But yeah, that's NG Canyon done, and we are done. So I'm actually gonna take a little bit of a time loss. And bumping up the music for you all because oh, I actually had it on. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn down the car volume instead, like that, because there is a special track that plays when you have EA tracks on this final set of because before you even get to challenge Darius, the final boss, you have to race NG, Kenji, and Wolf in sort of like a preliminary races, both on a canyon sprint and on a very long city sprint. And during these races, if you have EA tracks on, a special remix space. This is the Hard Drivers Race remix, and it is just absolutely amazing. If we could get the research, just bump the game audio here for a little bit, that would be absolutely appreciated. I will actually just for everyone, I will just turn down my car even further. Can we just bump the game audio a little bit? Thank you. This remix is just godlike. This is Electro plus racing games. It just fits everything. Like, imagine playing this game in 2006. You're just playing this casually. You're like against NG Canyon. We'll probably put you close too, because you know you're playing this casually, and like they put you against them with like this playing in the background. It is just an experience. It was an experience playing this game as a kid when it came out. But yeah, here we go. The drop's about to hit for this track. So I'm just gonna be silent, let you enjoy this. God, I love this track just so much. Like, this is like one of my favorite video game OSTs. And believe it or not, this isn't even the best remix. This entire thing is actually it's actually based off the Hard Driver Subwoofer remix, which EA actually licensed for this game. But instead of taking that remix, which is way better, which is actually even better than the original, it has like the original lyrics intact in the background and stuff, they actually like asked Subwoofer to like remove most of the lyrics. Normally there would actually be lyrics like during these parts as well, but I guess they just felt like the track was more suited as like a more instrumental base with like just the, you know, like turn it. The turn it is referring to the tires there. The turn it and burn it, turning the tires and burning the tires. Because, you know, if you were to do that in real life, your tires would definitely catch some smokes. that's definitely a thing. But yeah, you get to listen for a little bit more. Because we're on to the city race now. And this is going to be a 3-minute city sprint, leading you through most of the areas, and I'm already getting screwed at the start. That's beautiful. Leading you through most areas of the car, I don't know why my head went for cow as a word. I don't know. Not town. leading you for most of the town, which is just a beautiful ending to the game. And it's actually also the only place of the game where we hit top speed of the Corvette. There's a place where you can hit it in the Lotus Elise, but this is guaranteed. This is a long stretch of highway in the Corvette. Unless you like hit some traffic right before he will hit the top speed, which is going to be 370 km/h. And there it is, 370 km/h on the highway. Right as the drop hits, let's go. Visual cue to brake here, just when the barrier ends. Super easy to brake there. There you go. But yeah, now that the drop is over, I will unfortunately have to turn off my engine again, because believe it or not, I use my engine, Restreamer might want to turn down the audio a little bit again, because the engine will be a little bit loud now again. Because I do actually listen to the engine a lot. As I mentioned earlier, we use manual transmission because the automatic gear transmission shifts way too early, so you lose a lot of lower gear, better acceleration, but also it caps your top speed way earlier. For some reason, if you use automatic transmission, your top speed is way lower. We would be driving that highway at like 320 km/h if we were to use automatic transmission. So that's another weird thing with most water with the carbon. But you can see, if you drive really well, you're gonna be really far ahead of all the races now. This set of corners here actually specifically, this is the only set of corners I actually dedicatedly practiced. Like, my practice for this game is normally just doing entire tracks, but that set of corner right there, that like longs in the left turn, and then that right turn, and then this right here, this like straight-ish, left-ish part, and then into the sharp right turn, are the only few corners I actually dedicatedly practice the extra options mod, because that mod has some functionality like save your car speed and position. So, yeah. Oh, it's the game border? Okay, I will just lower it myself, it's fine. Restore, you don't have to do anything, don't worry. I'll just do it. I'm like way behind world record pace anyway at this point, so don't worry. All good. I'll just do it for you. I did ask for the game volume to be raised at for the thing. For the epic drop there. But yeah, that's the city sprint done. This is going to be a 251, not bad. It's a decent time. You can get sub 250. Sub 250 on this track is considered godlike. I can usually get like a 251, 252. If you're a beginner player, you would consider like a sub 3 for you to be like your first sub 3 on this track will be a pretty crowning achievement for you. But yeah. Won the final 2 races. This run is like 5 minutes from ending, and less than 5 actually. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, but this ends as every boss race does. We're gonna have a 2-lap circuit race on a very interesting track here, Lucky Towers. Coincidentally, there is a former Need for Speed speedrunner called Lucky, and I always forget the numbers at the end. But he has 4 numbers at the end of his name. But I always forget them. But yeah, we just refer to him as Lucky. And his favorite track is this track, Lucky Towers. And I don't know if that's because of the name or because he actually likes the track. But yeah, this track definitely fits the final boss race. Shortcuts leading you to some airtime, jumps leading you to airtime, lots and lots of, just general like track saving shortcuts you have to know in order to have a good chance against Darius if you're playing this casually. A really strong boss AI. Darius, it's actually very possible to lose this. Like, if you're just, starting out this game, it is absolutely definitely possible to lose this. Especially when Darius takes the good shortcuts like he just did there. And I'm not driving so well right now. Especially because right this jump here can sometimes randomly just flip your car. Looks like I got a good landing there, though. When you land better, like, your car can sometimes just randomly flip. Looks like we have a decent lap 1. Darius is like 3 seconds behind us, so we should be fine. Actually, on the left here, where the barrier meets this like sort of like divider, like this actual natural divider, right before the finish line, there's actually kind of like a thing that's sticking out invisibly. So if you wall ride that barrier, like say you mess up your corner and then you wall ride that barrier, there's a chance you hit that invisible part and your car will spin out and you're spinning out right before the finish line. I have lost, back before I actually had the world record in this game, I have lost a run to exactly that. That was like 10 seconds off world record, but would have given me second place at the time I was third. I lost a run to that. like one of my saddest moments. But it wouldn't have been world record. I was like 10 seconds off the world record at that point. But it was still sad to choke a second place of it. But you know, I got world record at some point anyway. Skipped from, I then eventually got second place, and then eventually I took second place of Evil at the time, and then I took it off GV, and that was the last world record holder for this game, JV. And we're about to finish the run here. Looks like I'm spinning out a bit here, but Darius is completely far behind us, so I'm not actually going to be wall riding this because I didn't have a lot of speed, so I'm just going to be taking the corner normally. I'm going to be swapping into Farcam here, because I want Farcam for the final canyon duel of the game. This is Darius's canyon duel, and it is, oh dear. So Darius has a really good car, and it's still possible to overtake him on the first corner, but it is hard. What you need to do is you sort of like need to match your speed with Darius on the side, on his left side. You sort of need to take the inside while you're running along Darius's inside, and then make sure he's behind you when you're overtaking him, and then hold that lead into the second corner. So time is coming up. Get ready on time. Time will be when that 10-second timer opponent overtaken runs out. But the last thing I'm going to be doing before it starts is I'm going to restart it, because that's going to put me further back, giving me more time to accelerate to Darius. So here we go. Hopefully I get this first try. If I do, this will be a flat 155 loadless time. It looks like I'm doing very good. Darius is right behind me. Get ready on time. 7-6. When this timer runs out, that's time. Let's hope I don't mess up on the last corner. Yeah, that's guaranteed. That's going to be time when this timer runs out. And time! 155.04 loadless time. And that is where, on my end, if you need to update this, on my end, that was a 157.12 RTA. And that's Need for Speed Carbon. Let's go.
GG's.
Absolutely. So before I start the final cutscene here, I want to point out quickly, there's going to be a cutscene at this point. I hold this cutscene dear to my heart because it is a meta ending to this game. So first of all, we get like sort of like you conquer the territory. You know, Darius drives to you here, but whatever. At the end of this, it's going to be a rendered cutscene. And if you get the game audio turned up when I tell you to, that'd be awesome. And Darius is going to say some words to us. I want you to interpret these words not as some video game stuff, but rather imagine Darius talks to you from one speedrunner to another. And then this suddenly becomes a super meta ending. If we could get the game audio raised a bit right now, that'd be awesome.
The keys are in the car. Enjoy it while it lasts. There's always someone out there who's a little faster than you are.
You take this.
Sooner or later, they're gonna catch up.
As Darius is telling you as a speedrunner, and suddenly this becomes one of the most meta endings to a speedrunner. Darius is essentially telling you, wow, like, you can do better. And you can. Like, every time I PB, and this is not a joke, every time I PB, I watch that cutscene and I just remind myself, yeah, I might have just PB'd, but I can do better. And that's what's been that's been a large part of why I've been optimizing this game so much, and why I just like that ending cutscene is just such a huge motivation boost for me as well. But yeah, if you do want to check out this game, I will be dropping a lot of links to stuff right now because there is just so much stuff that needs to be said, needs to be linked here. So I guess I'll just drop it in the runner room quickly. So the first thing I would like staff to link is the Need for Speed Series leaderboard. So that's I'm just gonna post all of this in the runner chat. So if you want to find leaderboards for any Need for Speed game, then you do want to check those. Secondly, once that's paused, I will just wait for staff for me to give me the okay here for linking stuff. I'm posting it in the runner chat, by the way. Right, so that's the speedrun link for the NFS Series leaderboards. If you specifically want to find out the Carbon leaderboards, those are right there. So if you want tricks, guides, resources for Carbon, check out those leaderboards, check out the guides for that. That's going to be the second link that's going to be posted. Second thing is there's going to be a challenge link. That's going to be for our Need for Speed Career Any Percent tournament going on right now. That is the 2020 Carbon tournament, and it's 2020 because that's going to be the first iteration. Could we get someone to link the stuff, please? Because I would really love if that could be linked. it's possible if we can't link everything, but those are like the main 3 things I would want to get. The second link, Need for Speed Carbon leaderboards, yep, and the challenge link is for our current ongoing tournament. And I want to remind everyone, T-Dog versus Cousin is going to happen this Monday, 8 p.m. CEST. It's going to happen on. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to say where it happens? I'm not exactly sure, but while I get word on that, if I'm allowed to say what channel it's going to happen on, I want to also let you all know that we have a Discord. If you need any help with the Need for Speed, like any Need for Speed, we have the Need for Speed community Discord, which if Discord would let me copy it, that would be absolutely beautiful. Thank you. There you go. That's the Discord invite link that I just sent in the Runner chat. Once it's posted, if you want to see any, like learn anything for Need for Speed, need any help, or if you're just a casual looking to implement some speedrun stuff because you're stuck somewhere, join that. Like, we are all bunch of friendly members, as I said at the start. We're just we're a fun community. But yeah, with that being said, that was Need for Speed Carbon. Go learn some Need for Speed. We are like one of the most welcoming communities in the world. And yeah, that's it for me. I thank you for accepting this for the marathon. And if there's any final words from